So something over in this area is a low pitch. Something over in this area is a high pitch. Anything that's down here is very soft, and anything up here is very loud. So I'm going to play this A. All right? And you'll notice this right here is the fundamental A, and it's at 440 hertz. Because you see this line here is 470. And then it has these two other lines that if it was a pure sine wave, it wouldn't have. All right, but this is the best we could do for our demonstration purposes. Now, I'm going to put this one in and pull the next white one out. And I'm going to play the same note on the keyboard. So this is the 4-foot. And see, this is the pitch up here, an octave higher. This is at 880 hertz. So now what I'd like to do is pull out this other drawbar. I'll play the same pitch. And you notice that we have here and here two pitches that are about the same volume, right? The higher pitch is a little bit louder, but you can hear two distinct pitches. Can everybody hear that? I'll take away the high one. That's one pitch that you can hear. And now you hear another pitch an octave higher. Right? Everybody can hear that I'm playing one note and there are two pitches sounding. Let's push in both of these. No, that's our A, right? And I'm going to pull out this next one. And are you hearing an A? No, you're hearing an E, a very high-pitched E, right? So I'm going to drop everything down an octave because it's going to start hurting your ears pretty soon. So that's a fifth. Let me bring in our fundamental again. So now we're hearing two pitches. We're hearing an A and an E. Right? Let's say I was going to play an A and a C sharp. I would be hearing A, C sharp, E, and G sharp. What quality chord is that, jazz students? An A major seventh. So if I... Now, you don't hear it like you would normally hear an A major seventh. Can anybody know why? Because the top two notes are like an octave and a half or 2 octaves above, right? So let's try this. There we go. That has more of the quality of a major seventh because I'm playing the overtone, the first overtone, the 4-foot and the 2 2/3, right? So that sounds more like a major seventh. That sounds more like this. Right, so I'm actually playing a major seventh right now. Now if I just play A and C sharp, I'm playing a major seventh. Now why is that important to know? It's important to know because depending upon the registration you set up, you could be playing things that are sounding harmonically much more complex than you mean, and depending upon what octave they're in, they could become very disharmonious sounds. Now you could use that to your advantage. Let's bring this down. Let's bring this guy up. So let's get our A so we know where our A is. Right, that's our A pitch. Now everybody should know what pitch that is. Yeah, he has it. What's your name again?
David.
Dan?
David.
David. Right, that's a C sharp. If this is an A. Right? Right, so I'm playing a C sharp on the keyboard now. If I play the A on the keyboard. So what you're hearing are these two pitches. can anybody describe how the timbre has changed? Right? I'm going to close these guys down. We've got our hollow, pure sine wave, right? It's just a mellow sound. What happens when I start bringing these? What quality would you ascribe to that sound? It's more nasally, right? It's more reedy. So think about an instrument like an oboe. It has a very reedy sound, and that's because it's very harmonically rich, the timbres that it produces. All right, so let's go one more. So here's our A. And that's what interval is that? Anybody? It's another fifth, right? It's an E above. So now I'm playing a major triad like with an octave on top, or with fifth on top and then with an octave on top. So I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tones. Now, we haven't talked about these 2 tones here on the left, these brown ones. These are subharmonics, right? So the 16 is an octave lower, and then this other one is a fifth above the 8 foot, but it's the first harmonic of the 16 foot. And you can see how complex that sound is getting, right? If I get rid of some of these darker ones, right? And then if I start making this more harmonically rich, right? You can hear it like, right? That's painful, right? I'm sorry, Elizabeth, I didn't mean to do that. But you can hear I'm playing a sixth. That's not a dissonant interval, right? Because you're hearing more than 2 pitches. It's very important. If this is the only thing you take out of my class, you'll have learned a lot. Mm-hmm. But hopefully it won't be. Let's look at this guy here. All right, so I'll bring in an octave, fifth, bring in the third, another fifth. I'll bring this one in. Now notice, when I bring this guy in here, there'll be something in this, I think there'll be something in this area here, unless I'm an idiot. Yep, there we go. And then there'll be something down here at 220. And you see that we have a very complex waveform now. Now, I'm going to turn the volume of this down so you don't hurt your ears. But that's like a sixth. It's a very consonant interval. And you see how it changes? The quality of the sound changes? Like how dissonant that 5, this 5 1/3 makes it. Right? Because I am playing, there's a half step rub. I'm playing the A and the F. So the A is producing A, C, sharp, and E. And the F is producing F, A, and C sharp. So I've got a half step rub between the A and the F, and a major seventh between the C and the C sharp. Right? But I'm only playing 2 notes. Everybody understand that, right? You have a sound and a series of sounds that you can hear simultaneously above that sound. And the relative volume of those overtones is what changes the timbre. Now, it's not just with acoustic instruments. It's with electronic instruments, guitars, keyboards, synthesizers. So here's what's supposed to be a pure sine wave, right? We'll see how it is. Well, it's not so pure because you could see all these other harmonics, right? Now, this right here, this is called a cutoff. All right? A cutoff is a filter. It filters out frequencies. This is more than likely a low-pass filter, meaning that it lets low frequencies pass and it attenuates the volume of high frequencies. So watch this graph. I'm going to start moving this to the left, and let's see what happens to these guys over here. Right? You see how they disappeared? I'm turning the volume of those down with this filter. Now, let me change this to a more harmonically rich sound. A sawtooth wave is a very harmonically rich sound. It's got lots of even and odd harmonics, right? So if I play this, you should see quite a bunch of lines. There we go. See how buzzy that sound is? Now here's your fundamental, but look at all of these things. And they're dancing, you know? It's like Northern Lights or something like that. And see, you're just turning down the volume on all of those harmonics. So that it almost starts to sound like what kind of wave? A sine wave. So you're changing a sawtooth wave into a sine wave by changing the value of the cutoff filter.